Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast, and I am frightened. I am afraid. I'm a baby who is afraid. Today's content drop at MLB The Show will do one of two things for me. It will either pass by without a second thought, or it'll make me real upset and really fundamentally change how the last few months of this game cycle is going to go. Why? Because captains are coming, and not just team captains, not just the Yankees captain or the Dodgers captain or the Blue Jays captain. No, we're getting the silly captains, the same exact silly captains that I think really hurt gameplay the last few years. So, in today's episode of the show, the podcast, we're just going to outline the possibilities and the circumstances and see what happens. So let's start talking about it. Why am I afraid? Well, they released the Captain Blizzard Drop 1 last week, and thankfully these captains don't seem too overpowered. OP, as the kids say. We first have the World Series MVP captain, and I think live on air, we're going to build what these teams might look like, just so we get a gist of what we're working with, right? So I'm going to put Whitey Ford in the rotation, Yankee legend. We are going to equip him, and then we are going to search for boosted by captain. So World Series MVPs, let's put Manny, let's put Springer, let's put Clemente. Was there a better option there for center? Probably not. We could check secondaries. There was not. Third base, Brooks Robinson, Corey Seager / Jeter. I'm a Yankee fan. We'll put Jeter here. We all know Corey Seager's card is better. We'll put Benny Zobrist at second. That's fun. Freddie Freeman at first. You know what? We'll put Seager DHing, and we'll put Salvador Perez. Oh, Johnny Bench is here too, actually. We'll put Salvador Perez there. Good lineup. Not great. We could fill out a bench, Soler, Ortiz, probably Stargell just to make it easy. Other pitchers, Yamamoto, of course, Bob Gibson, Tom Glavine, Randy Johnson. That's kind of frightening. Relievers, just one, Raleigh Fingers. Okay, so this team is not nuts. It's good, don't get me wrong, but, clearly lacking a center fielder. The outfield is a little weak overall, though Clemente is obviously a lot of fun and never gets released at the right time. Corey Seager's excellent. The Whitey Ford boost at Tier 3 does 10 clutch, 10 vision, 10 speed, 10 hit per 9. So I like the clutch, vision, and speed boost, but nothing to the contact, nothing to the power. So it's a so-so across the board boost. Now let's play with the Brian Roberts one. Let's deactivate this captain. Let's go here. Let's put Brian Roberts in the mix. I have a feeling this one will be a little better. I have not actually, obviously, used any of these myself. I actually just unlocked these 5 minutes ago. I'm recording this the night before you're listening to it at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're doing this live. So, we got to go back to boosted by captain. Okay, Ricky Henderson. Wow, Tim Raines being left off stakes. We're going to put Tim Raines. Can he play center? We'll put Ricky in center, because that's the move that makes sense in this situation. Yeah, for sure. We'll put Acuna in right. No 50 steals except for Hannes. Brian Roberts is there. Ellie is here. Secondary third is just Ryan Sandberg. Okay. Craig Biggio still doesn't have a 99. I'm sure he will soon. And then, take your pick here. You could have Don Baylor, Davis, Shohei, Ozzie Smith. Let's just put Shohei here. On the bench, Altuve, Carroll, Terang. Let's put Ozzie because he's a switchy. Shohei can pitch. You get one pitcher out of it. Yeah, I don't know why I clicked reliever. I knew that wasn't happening. So the Brian Roberts at Tier 3 boost, which I believe we have. We do. 10 power versus both sides, 10 clutch, 10 fielding. So that's kind of neat. Theoretically, some of these speedy guys will get more power. It helps Hannes a lot. Helps Roberts. Helps Rhino. Helps this Biggio card, of course. not overpowered, right? So this took a few more minutes than I hoped, but here's the kind of the baseline point I'm trying to make. These captains are fine. They don't make nutso crazy squads because their themes, World Series MVP and 50 stolen bases, are hyper-specific. They're hyper-specific, and the boosts are not nuts. I still prefer a world where the only captains that exist are for MLB teams and themed cards, like the finest captain. Maybe there could be a second half heroes captain, because that is really niche team building, right? Your scope is so limited. But where this goes totally off the rails, and where I will make a stink on the internet about it, and I already know the reactions will be mixed, and I don't care. If there is a switch hitter captain, it would be the most tone-deaf thing SDS maybe has ever done, and that's saying something. The switch hitter captain might not come out Tuesday. It might come out in the future. It might not come out at all. Online play is already a switch hitting disaster. And I had this same complaint for the last few years when the switch hitter captain was in the game and switch hitting wasn't a problem. Switch hitters, by their very nature, are already an advantage. Not just in MLB The Show, in real life. You're already giving yourself the platoon advantage every single time. Or at least the handed disadvantage. Not every switch hitter is better against the opposite. You know what I'm getting at. Especially in MLB The Show, where switch hitting stats are juiced. This card, who I'm not complaining about because I use him and he's awesome, but like, there's no discernible weakness on this card, and you always have a handedness matchup, and you don't get PCI shrinkage. That is the biggest advantage in online play in MLB The Show history, is not getting shrinkage. Really, that's what it is. No shrinkage for switch hitters is more OP than sinker cutter meta. It's more OP or on par with super dotting. Like, that is the level of gameplay stress that slider shrinkage or breaking ball shrinkage has induced into this game, or introduced into this game, I should say. So then, if there is a switch hitter captain, I swear on the life, I'm not going to do that. I swear on myself. Not on my life, just on myself. That I will cause such a stink that I will make the Karens of the world look like saints. That's just where I'm at with online play in MLB The Show. Between switch hitters, between people suddenly having the best vision of the strike zone I've ever seen and not swinging at balls because there's no incentive to, because if it's on the black, it's a ball, not a strike. The online meta, the online gameplay, the online environment is horse piss. Oh, you must be terrible at the game. I'm 138 in ranked. There are people with far better records. There are people who play far more. There are people with worse records who'd kick my ass, for sure. But I'm not a noob. There are people who are new watching for the first time. I would just like to point that out. Also, that. I have that icon. It's a Mickey Mouse icon. I did it through Weekend Classic. It's not important. So, oh, and I apologize, because now I'm looking at the calendar. These captains are coming not on Tuesday. They're coming soon, though. Does not change the fact of this podcast episode. If captains begin to get introduced, as you can see, I'm covering it. Stupid idiot. We're going off the rails already. December 2nd, new multiplayer and Captain Blizzard programs. Please, do not let this snowball. That's not a pun on Blizzard. I swear to God, it's not intended to be. I can't see a world where OP captain boosts makes sense in MLB The Show, especially with how the power creep is already working, where all of the cards coming out are already basically max in every category. Everyone that comes out is 5-tool or 5-tool adjacent. Look at this Ian Happ. Captain boosts are useful in a couple situations. Early in the year, they're super useful when cards are caca. Oftentimes, though, there aren't enough cards released early in the year to make captains viable. That's your handcuff there. The second time they're useful is like during the finest cards drop, where they're dropping 50, 60 cards. Not every card can be incredible, like my Pookie Bear Ben Rice, who is my Saint and my DH forever. You know, a little finest captain gives them a little juicy juice. We're only hitting 300 on Hall of Fame ranked with him. Things will get better. I love you, Ben. That's where captains work. I was so happy with team building thus far this year. Captains were not super common. If you saw a theme team captain, like say I played somebody who was using like a Phillies tier 2 boost, I'd be like, oh, shout out to you. Cool Phillies fan, good at ranked, was able to work his favorite players into his God Squad for a boost as a Philly gets pulled. Trey Turner from a show pack. Shout out to Rogue. Shout out to Noob. And then it was like, oh, tip of the cap, using your favorite team or just using a boost that made sense. Cool. It just seamlessly fit in. Captains become so intrusive if we just get all the stupid ones. The durability captain remains one of the dumbest things ever produced, because then SDS had to go back and manipulate future card releases to have 98 durability so they wouldn't get further boosted. It also handcuffs the development team. I enjoyed the way they implemented captains thus far, where you didn't have to have a captain series to be a captain. It could have just, Cal Raleigh, normal-ass card, can be a captain. Perfect. Perfect. Fun. Nice. I'm so not a captain's person. Am I using the Cal Raleigh and Paul Skeens boost currently? Of course I am, because they're available. And if I don't use them, given my current theme team build or just regular team build, I am at a competitive disadvantage. So as somebody who plays online and wants to compete, I am going to put myself in an advantageous position. You know, I have finest guys I like. They fit my team. I'm not stretching to do this, except maybe with Paul Skeens because he kind of stinks. You know, but otherwise, it works for my team. I have 2 tier 3 boosts, makes my team better. If captains were to snap my fingers, poof, be gone tomorrow, I'd be happy. I don't know. And it's not even a realism thing. I think people might jump to that conclusion. Like, with a captain boost, Bobby Witt is essentially max. I think that's crazy. But I don't care about that. I'm not searching for more realism here. I'm just searching. My hope is to eliminate as many metas as possible. Metas always form in every video game. It's the nature of gaming, competitive gaming specifically. What works best to achieve your goal? So in MLB The Show, to achieve your goal of winning a 9-inning game or winning a 3-inning battle royale game, what have you, it's to stack with switch hitters. It's to have pitchers with sinkers, an outlier. And maybe if you face a bunch of same-handed guys, smash the slider button and you get shrinkage. That is your win con. That is the meta in MLB The Show. Metas create repetitiveness. Metas create similar lineups. Metas create boring and redundant. So a switch hitter captain being introduced would make this switch hitter pandemic even worse. Epidemic. I shouldn't make light of a pandemic. Epidemic. Listen, we're all guilty of it. Look at my lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As much as I complain about switch hitters, I got 6 of them in my lineup. For sure. You know, I will not be a pot calling the kettle black. But it's because it's the meta. If I wanted to go rogue and be a fella who just refuses to use switch hitters, I've done a video on that. It was fun. You can go back and watch it from a couple months ago. I could do that. You know, I have a Yankee theme team that's damn good. That has 2 switchies currently. If I really wanted to, I could put Bernie in there, whatever. But you know what I mean. I just don't want it to become a point where certain things get overpowered even more than they already are. So SDS, I implore you, while you have time to figure this out, I hope you haven't already. You have time still. Please, do not make these captains Looney Tunes. Don't do it. I don't want to see the durability captain. I don't want to see the switch hitting captain. I can make do with country of origin nationality captains. Those are fun. Those are real theme teams with tight constraints. You know, I don't want to see the shortstop secondary captain. I certainly don't want to see that. Though maybe this year could be interesting because secondaries kind of got really nerfed. You might have to play some folks out of position. All right, maybe that one we can test the waters on that one. The gameplay this year is so bad and repetitive and stinky and the metas are so obvious and annoying. And switch hitters and all hitters at this point, honestly, are so juiced up that there's no such thing as lefty matchups. Lanes don't exist for relievers. It makes it unfun. So I want this game to be as fun as possible. Yes, I play it for content. I also play it recreationally. I want to enjoy it. I want to have fun. I don't want to turn it on and know I'm going to get bent over and smacked in the ass by any number of annoying things that have existed since the game came out. Since Finest has dropped, I do think there are fewer switch hitters than you have faced normally and the postseason content. Like, you know, Juan Soto's out there a bunch. This Vladdy Jr. that is absolutely nutso cracked incredible is out there a bunch. I'm seeing a lot of Bobby Witts and Trey Turners, which I'm happy about. You know, but at the same time, Francisco Lindor is now back, and he is the biggest cheat code switch hitter you've ever seen. And that's, you know, whatever. Use him. If you like him, use him. I don't give a shit. But I'm just pointing that out. I don't know. I've had a vendetta against switch hitters for years. Not that they can't exist, because they are a real part of baseball. And switch hitters in baseball are so valuable. But there aren't that many good ones in real baseball. And so it just feels like it feels too common to have these strong of switch hitters in the game all at once. They either have to be built differently, where their platoons are really, really accurate, where, like, I don't know if this is lore accurate. I'm just saying this as an example. Like, if Cal Raleigh can't hit lefties worth of shit, his 99 should have 125 contact right. He can have 125 power against both sides. That's fine. He's got 60-something home runs. But, like, show me 85 contact left. Show it to me. At this point in the year, and I'm not just saying that for Cal, put it across the board. Put it for every single player. If we had more lore-accurate splits that made sense, we wouldn't be seeing so many switch hitters everywhere. There'd be actual diversity in lineups. And again, Cal's just my example because he was a switch hitter. We could say it for Cattell. We could say it for J-Ram. We could say it for Ian Happ is up there with whoever makes Brian Reynolds' cards made this card. Two of the most above average players of all time. They're not mid. They're both good. They're all-star caliber. Two of the most above average players in the history of Major League Baseball. Getting the most ridiculous cards you've ever seen. And again, guilty. I use him. I use Ian Happ. I like him. He's really good. He's really fun. And I like fun. Fun is fine. But there is a line to be drawn where fun becomes annoying. And this episode, it's gonna hit home with some people who are gonna get it. It's gonna make other people angry who just simply don't get it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Shut up and just have fun. If people want to use switch hitters, let them. Sure. Use them. I just don't need to give them any more help. This game already doesn't have, input. It doesn't provide real results based off input. It is not a skill-based game. There is no skill gap. It is a who can luck their way into foul balls and off PCI homers game. We don't need to give those people more of a crutch. So I've just kind of had it with that stuff. So Did I go into this episode thinking the captains were coming out today when you're listening to this? Yeah, I'm an idiot. But the impetus of this began when I found this program, when it came out, and I was like, oh no, here we go. Here we go. Thankfully, Whitey Ford ain't that overpowered. Thankfully, this Brian Roberts ain't that overpowered. And the card himself is just whatever. Even with his own boost, it's just kind of like, all right. Like, there are 10 better second basemen than that card. That's just kind of where I'm at, man. It's just kind of where I'm at. I live in a world where if captains died, I'd be fine with it. And that's really just the essence of this episode. I don't care for them. I don't care for them. I think it just creates too many redundant lanes for team building. Where from day one of me creating content, I have always advocated for more variety in team building. MLB team captains do provide that. So I suppose instead of saying kill the captain, if we wanted to stick to just the 30 MLB teams, fine. I'm here for that. I will retract the larger killing of the captains for that, because that actually provides avenues for variety, at least at this time of the year. But I hate queuing into games and seeing the same 9 players against the same 9 players. My lineup's got a little variety compared to the average competitive Hall of Fame level player. Like, I use Bobby Witt. Most people are using Lindor, Turner, Ellie. Ben Rice is my favorite player, so I have him. You don't really see him. You know, Ben Zobrist, a lot of people have stopped using. I have not. And I'm not trying to say, like, oh, look at me, I'm this beacon of using variety. That's not what I'm getting at. But, like, it's up to the individuals to use variety if they want to. I wish SDS encouraged the variety more. Captains inhibit their ability to do that, is my message. So that's the episode today. A short podcast. Thank you guys for making it to the end if you did. I know it was kind of rambly, kind of like a thought dump. But this is nothing new if you're a longtime subscriber or listener to the content. You know my stance on this stuff. I just worry that they'll be tone deaf and make matters even worse than they are. Which, gosh, I hope is not the case. I really, fingers crossed, hope it's not the case. Because this little man can't deal with it. I am but a boy. Who turns 33 tomorrow. But I'm but a boy. I can't deal with it. So yeah. Let me guys, Jesus Christ. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. What's your stance on captains? Do you love them no matter what? Do you wish they would go away? Do you like the idea of just the MLB team captains and that's it? What's our stance? What's our official stance on captains? I'd love to have the conversation. And if I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong, it's my own opinion, so I can't be wrong. But if you think I'm wrong, open my eyes. Give me your best case as to why it makes sense. And that's that. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Enjoy the content today. Retro Finance program. Didn't even talk about that. That's coming out. And yeah. See you next time.